Welcome back to the Silver Lining, where it's no filler, no fluff, but we keeps it a buck. And today we're going to be discussing what's gone down in the NBA playoffs. So a lot has happened since the last time we were on, so we're gonna get to it. Got my bros with me in the building. Got Stan in the building. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? How's it going? Everything good?
Everything's money, man.
Let's
Of
go.
course, I got Kurt in the building. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? You know I'm fired up. You know I'm fired up, man.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure you are, man. So before we get to why you're fired up, let's start with what happened yesterday. The Knicks have advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals. It was pretty ugly last night. I kind of thought it would kind of go like that. Like one of the things that's interesting to me is how like some of these people on TV like lose their minds when the series is 3-1 and the team is down 3-1 wins the game. Now it's all of a sudden all the pressure is on them now. It's like no, they still got to win two, and you got to win one. Like when you're ahead in the series, you still have the advantage. So it's just weird seeing that. Like when Boston won that game, I didn't like. I was like, okay, they showed one last stand, but they're not beating them two more times without their best players. It's not going to happen. So yeah, what's your thoughts about how that series went? Because I'll be honest, I think we're all stunned. We all thought Boston was going to sweep them, and that's not what went down. So I'll start with Stan, man. What were your thoughts on that series?
It's a weird series, man. The
Yeah.
whole series is a weird ass series. Like the Celtics had 20-point leads in the first two games of the series and lost both games. They beat the Knicks by 25 in an elimination game, and the Knicks just beat the holy shit out of them last night. Boston got exposed a bit by Orlando in round one, just with the physicality part of it. I mean, obviously Orlando, no disrespect, was just not talented enough to do anything about it. But the Knicks, I was surprised. The Knicks have taken shit all year because they went what their record against the top teams in the league. They
Mm-hmm.
took a lot of shit about that. But they were still a 50+ win team, finished third in the East. They were really a very good team, up and down. The starting five is one of the best in the league. And Detroit kind of pushed them in round one as well. And for some dubious calls, maybe that series might not have gone the Knicks' way either. The Pistons could easily have won that series. But the Knicks showed that toughness in that series by just rebounding and staying focused and staying and keeping and getting the wins against Detroit. And then they were down 20 plus in both the first game, two games in Boston, and they won both games. The Tatum injury obviously was a fucking bummer. Obviously, you don't want to see that happen to any guy in the league, especially a guy who's one of the premier players in the league, one of the faces of the league, one of the young guys, one of the good young guys in the league, and it really crippled him. And this game was just all Knicks. I mean, Jalen Brown fouls out in the third quarter. It was obvious that was they were done. And once the Knicks got up on them, and that MSG crowd got delirious, it was over. The Knicks look like they could get to the finals. My only concern with them is how they're going to defend the Pacers in that offense. And the Pacers just go up and down the court on you. I'm looking forward to the series. Looking forward to it, but a little surprised with the Knicks and how they just dismantled the Celtics in the last game. And I didn't see the series going that way. Obviously, I don't know. We all thought it was be a 4-1, 4-0
Mhm.
Celtics, but the Knicks surprised me. I have to give them credit because they showed that toughness that a lot of people said they didn't have, and how they were getting beat by the best teams early in the season and all throughout the regular season. It also shows the regular season doesn't really mean shit when you get to this point. And we'll talk. I'm sure we'll talk about that when it comes to talk about Cleveland. But
Yeah.
I was surprised. But the Knicks, give it up to the Knicks and the Knicks fans. And it's been this first conference finals in over 25 years. So good for them. So I give them credit.
Yeah. Kurt, your thoughts?
Um, like if you told me that the Knicks was going to beat the Celtics, it would surprise me. But now seeing that it happened and how it happened, it's not. I feel like I should have known better a little bit because the Knicks did everything. They literally did everything they could to beat the Celtics. They went out and got Mikal Bridges, right? They went out and got Big Cat. You know what I'm saying? They added the pieces to prepare for this Celtic team. Honestly, if you want to be honest, they tried to prepare to beat the Celtics. We got OG and we got Mikal Bridges. There's two guys that can stick Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. You understand what I'm saying? Like they built that. We need a big that can rebound, post up, stretch the defense. Let's go get Cat. They did. They actually prepared their team to beat the Knicks. I mean, to beat the Celtics. It just played out that way. And now that you see it play out that way, it's like, damn, bro, I should have seen this coming. I could, I'm shocked, but I'm not. I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be though, because this is what the Knicks went out in the offseason to prepare to do. Um, Even with that, I still thought like the Celtics are going to win in 5 or 6, right? Because they play that mismatch of deep offense, and Big Cat is too slow, and Jalen Brunson is too small. Get matched up on, but the Knicks did a good job of masking the mismatches that they would face on offense. Um, I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Coach Tibbs. I want to give a shout out to the New York fan base because they suffered for years. Hey, Reg, our whole generation coming up, the Knicks were suffering. They had one good year with Spreewell and them, but it's good. And when the Knicks are good, it's better for the league. They're one of those teams that when they're in the mix, it's better for the league. I just felt like the Celtics, they just got their number. It was just nothing that they was just relentless. It was nothing that Celtics could do. Um, I'm really disappointed in the Celtics though, more so anything, because like you gotta do a better coaching job than that, yo. There's no way Jaylen Brown should be fouling out in the third quarter. Like I don't give a fuck what the score is, bro. You should be preserving and playing to win. When a coach sit this man out there knowing he got 4 or 5 fouls in the third quarter and he letting them play, the coach is basically just throwing his hat in. All right, y'all got it. You know what I'm saying? It was just very disappointing. And this is why Jason Tatum, who didn't play, Jason Tatum played well, okay? But this is why he gets criticism. You can't be a leader of a team that just won a championship and y'all get blown out in an elimination game like that. And then people are going to talk about, they did have injuries and, they were hurt, but just saying the Celtics in general. I know they had injuries, but I'm just saying in general. This is why, like, shit like this is why they take the criticism they are of Joe Mazzulla, of the coach, of how, the team is ran and built and constructed. They just need to be healthy. A healthy Celtic team is a different story in this series, even with the Knicks playing well. But shouts out to the Knicks, and I want to take their hats off. I don't want to shit on the Celtics so bad that I'm taking credit from the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Because they played. But I'm more so disappointed in the Celtics than I am excited about the Knicks, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I definitely, like you said, want to give credit to the Knicks because we didn't like honestly, like even before like the game Jason Tatum got hurt at, and definitely prayers to Jason Tatum, man. That's a bad
Yeah,
injury. It takes a while to come back from it, man. So like hopefully he can bounce back from it and get back to what he was, because that's a rough injury to go through. But even in that game when he got hurt, the Knicks still looked like the better team to me. And Jason Tatum was phenomenal in that game. Like that was one of the best games I've seen him play. He was outstanding, and the Knicks was still going tit for tat with him. They just looked like the better team. Like they just did from the start of the series. They looked like the better team. So yeah, I mean, you just got to give the Knicks a lot of credit, man. Happy for their fans. Their fans are a torture bunch. So anytime torture fan base can start to move with their team, like I'm happy to see it. Before we go into making predictions on that next series, I do want to just take a step back and take a look at the Boston Celtics, and you talk about like where do you go from here if you're Boston. I don't think you can go from here with a $223 million payroll for their team next year. I don't know if you can go in that direction, especially with a lot of these new CBA rules that are in place, which for the record, I'm actually not a fan of them. I actually don't like these new rules that they put in place, but that's different conversation. But um I don't know where you go from here if you're Boston. I mean, you're gonna have to shed some of this salary, but I just don't know how you do it. I mean, what do you like, Stan? What do you think? Do you just run it back and what do you do?
I don't know. I mean, this is an expensive team. The biggest thing that like when you talk about the four guys, Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, Drew Holiday, accounting for pretty much most of that $225 million. And now you're looking at Tatum's going to be out pretty much most of next season, if not the whole
No,
season.
all,
I
all,
yeah,
all. He won't
I
be
would
back.
personally.
He
Oh
might
yeah, I
he might be ready playoff time, like the
I
last
doubt it.
15 games
I
of the
doubt it.
season.
I doubt it. He's
I
done.
would if I yeah I've heard from his father has said that he thinks he's got a 9 month timeline.
No.
I would suggest that Tatum not play next season.
Mm.
That injury is too. I know technology has gotten a lot better and advancements in science have gotten guys back on the court in no time. I would be surprised if Tatum played next season. His youth, he's too young. He probably will not play next season. So now when you're looking at him not playing next season, and you're looking at Porzingis, who gave you absolutely nothing in this series, nothing.
Nothing.
Expensive player, expensive player. Drew Holiday had 4 points in this game. Expensive player. I don't know what they do. And did they just sign Derek White to a new deal? It's an expensive team, and it might be the end of the road for the Celtics. This group, and this group has been to 2 finals. They won a championship. This might be the end of the road for them, just because again, it's such an expensive team, and you got a new ownership team coming in there with Boston,
Yep.
and they're gonna look at that, and they're gonna look at that payroll and say, "What the fuck? $225 million for a basketball team that got bounced in the second round?" I don't know if I don't know what they do, but they're not gonna be the same team next year. You
Yeah,
gotta look at Al Horford,
yeah,
who's
just
being old.
real quick,
You know,
just to put some numbers on this so people can understand exactly what we're talking about. Um, Next season, Jaylen Brown is owed $53 million. Obviously, Jason Tatum 54. Drew Holiday is owed $32 million. And just to go back into Drew Holiday, he's owed 32 next year. He's owed 34 the following year. And then he has a player option for 37 the following year after that. Yeah, and then you just mentioned Porzingis. Porzingis, he expires next year, but it's still a $30 million hit next year. You have Derek White, 28 million next year, and then 30 million the following, then 32 million the following, and then another player option. Again, he doesn't have to take it. It's his decision, but another player option for $34 million for Derek White. So, I
yeah,
mean,
might as well
that's
say he's
just
gonna
I
be
think
exercising that.
I think if you're the Celtics, with that being said, like if they even with the property tax, I mean not property tax, but the luxury tax.
yeah.
I said property tax, the luxury tax. You have to, unless it's going to be like, who's going to pick up that Porzingis contract? Who's going to pick up that Drew Holiday contract at that age? You see what I'm saying? Like, you really don't have much to go with. You have to. They have to run it back. I don't know. I know some years back they had draft picks. I don't know what their draft cap would look like, but I don't know too many teams. I don't know too many teams that are going to pick up Kristaps Porzingis with his injury. Like the Celtics, when they picked up Kristaps Porzingis, they had a championship caliber team. They had a championship caliber core. So it's like, listen, as long as you give us something, it's going to improve. Like, where is he going to go where a team can afford to pay him and have the luxury that the Celtics had? You see what I'm saying? They don't have that. No team. Like if a team pick up $30 million, a $30 million trade, they're going to be expecting to get a player in return that can make a direct impact.
Correct.
Porzingis going to the Celtics is just like sprinkles on top of the cake. We already got Drew Holiday. We already got Jason Tatum. We already got Jaylen Brown. If I'm paying you $30 million a night, bro, I need you to be out there to be one of my 1 or 2 options. I don't need you to go out there and just be a guy that sees the Celtics. You could be a guy that just rebound, post up, rebound, set screens and shoot open threes. But if I'm paying you $30 million and I trade for you, I'm gonna need a lot more than that shit. You see what I'm saying? So who's willing to do that? I don't know too many teams that are. And even if they are, what are you getting back in return? Right? Like you don't want to get back another big contract. Right? Because then that'll defeat the purpose of trading them. So now you're asking a team to trade you draft picks, and you're the Celtics with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Like, ain't nobody gonna be. Well, I can't say they ain't gonna be dumb enough because we just saying Luka get traded, right? But what I'm saying is, ain't too many teams gonna trade for them. So what else do they have? What other option do they have but to run it back?
Yeah, just to answer your question, Kurt, I looked up their draft situation. The draft situation is actually pretty good. They have their pick in this upcoming draft, and they also have the Wizards' second round pick. So that's the 28th pick and the 32nd pick, which is actually pretty good, actually, because when you have those picks that close, you technically could possibly package both of those and maybe move up a slot or two in the draft. So that's actually not bad to me. They can't trade those. With a payroll like that, you need inexpensive talent. So I think you have to just use both of those picks. To me,
so you let Porzingis come back, right?
Yeah,
you clear $30 million next year.
Yeah,
and be smart with these draft picks.
I agree. I think that's the only route you do. I mean, I don't, like you said, no one's taking that contract. Like, I like Drew Holiday, but that's a lot of money all the way into 2027, 2028 season. I don't like him that much,
Like, he like 36, 37 years old. Ain't nobody gonna take that contract.
That old? Can't be that old.
Yo, he like 35, 36, bro.
He's been in the league for a minute. I'm saying, like,
he came in the league bro. He came in with Steph Curry.
Yeah, he's been in the league for a while, man.
Wow, how the hell did he get?
It's just an older team, man. They're older team. Their top guys are older, and it's an expensive older team. And Golden State's in that same boat of having expensive and older team, and I just don't know what you do with that.
And see, like I said, if you're the Celtics, like, all we needed was Drew Holiday. So of course I'll pay that $30 million for him. Because if I pay Drew Holiday $30 million, I just increased my chances of winning the championship tremendously. Of course I'm gonna pay that $30 million because Drew Holiday was literally all they needed was a defensive point guard that could shoot the three and delegate offense. That's all they needed. Now, if I'm paying for Drew Holiday, I need more than that shit. I need more than that. I need you to go out there and be the man for 30-something million.
Yeah.
Nobody else can. Look, the Celtics was in a was in a very special place to where as though they had their team and they could still afford. They had their franchise players and we could still afford pieces. You know what I mean? But now those pieces are expiring and ain't nobody going to take them. Nobody's going to take them.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. So yeah, I don't know what to say about Boston as far as where they go. Moving forward in the playoffs. So Pacers Knicks, man. I think that that's a great series, man. And let me just make sure we give Kurt his flowers, man.
Yes, sir. Give it to him.
He deserves the entire bouquet for this one, man. He called it. He said the Pacers were going to win this series. I mean, he called the Pacers winning the first series against the Bucks. He called this one as well. He said Pacers in 6. He ended up doing it in 5. I mean, they were the better team. I know the Cavs did have some injuries, but if I'm being honest, bro, they just look like the better team. They just did. From game 1 on, you could just see it. They were just better. So Kurt, I'll give you the floor, man. What did you see before that series started, and what did you see when the series started?
See, the thing about the Indiana Pacers, yo, they are arrogant. They are so arrogant. They are so cocky. They believe in themselves. Like I was telling you earlier, Reg, they think they're better than what they really are. Like Ben Mathurin. Ben Mathurin, I use him as an example because He's a very talented player. Ben Mathurin is like this close to being a superstar. But he believes that he's better than what he is, though. If you ask him, he's the best two guard in the league. You understand what I'm saying? And he plays with that chip. And so does Tyrese Halliburton. And then you throw Miles Turner on top of it. Then you throw Nimbard on top of it. Then you throw Naismith on top of it. Bro, they got a bunch of guys that can beat you, bro. They got a bunch of guys that can hurt you, man. And it's not like, and they play like a bunch of guys can hurt you. Like when you watch the Knicks, Jalen Brunson going to do him, Big Cat going to do, and they expecting Big Cat, right? When you watch the Timberwolves, you expecting Ant to have a big game. You expecting Julius Randle to do his thing. Bro, when you watch the Pacers, you don't know who's going to give you 25. You know Tyrese Halliburton is going to delegate offense. And the way he delegate offense, he'll either score 17 or 30. But that's the only consistent with the Pacers offense is that Tyrese Halliburton is breaking it up for everybody to eat. That's the only consistent. Nate Nimbard come out and give you 31 days. Then Ben Mathurin will turn around and give you 21 game. And then you're going to turn around the next game. You know, Miles Turner going to give you 25. Then the next game, this is the game that Tyrese Halliburton has his big 35, 40-point game. That is how they play. Whoever is hot is who going to eat. That's how they play offense. And they got a bunch of guys that can eat. Like they got a bunch of guys that can score. Not like a lot of teams have shooters. You know what I'm saying? Like Derek White, he can shoot, he can put the ball on the ground, but he's not a scorer. He's like their fourth option, maybe fifth option, but he's not necessarily a scorer. Like motherfucker Nimba. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, is it Nimba? Yeah.
Nimba. Bro, he can score any type of way. He got the mid-range game. He got the float in the middle of the lane. He quick, he fast, he patient. He plays under control. He can shoot it from distance. He doesn't have a conscience at all. And that is their whole team. That's their whole team. Their whole team is like that. A bunch of guys who can hurt you. And that's why early in the season I told you, that was my dark horse. I've been riding with them all year in the Eastern Conference because when you got a guy like Tyrese Halliburton that's a superstar and demands attention and he doesn't care about his numbers, that is that is an invaluable trait for a leader to not care about. You can see it when he'd be telling Ben, yo, post that little nigga up. You know what I'm saying? He'd be telling them, shoot the ball. Like, they give it to him, he give it back. You can see his face like, he'll throw it right back to him. Like, bro, go. Like, he's really putting batteries in backs. And then they playing defense also. So I've been riding with them in the Eastern Conference. They've been my pick in the Eastern Conference. I've been choosing them over everybody. Bro, I just knew. And then Cleveland, despite the injuries, right? Cleveland is a very immature team, bro. Like mentally immature. Like they don't know when the fire get hot, they don't know how to stand in there like a boxer slip punches. Like, you know, some boxers be scared to take punches, so they'll back away and run the whole time. Like, but certain boxers just gonna stand in there and let you throw punches, and they don't know how to stand in the fire and get hit. Once they get hit in their mouth, you know, Mike Tyson said everybody's a champion till they get hit. Once you hit Cleveland, they just fold up, and they folded up multiple times in this series. So I knew that the Pacers was too. They were, like I said, they was good enough to beat Cleveland at home twice, which they did the first two games.
Said it, man.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I know they don't care about the crowd. They don't care about the jersey numbers. They don't care about the status of the series. They don't even care about the odds. They don't even care what we saying. Like, even though I'm giving them props right now, they don't care about that. They only care that they can beat who's in front of them. And the Cleveland was too immature for them. So I knew it was going to happen. I called it, and it happened to fruition. So I'll accept my roses. You feel me?
Yeah. Much deserved, man. Much deserved. I'll say this before I go to Stan. I knew the series was over after game two. After game two is when I knew the series was over. Like when you give up 2 offensive rebounds on free throws, like that's some March Madness shit, man. Like you have 2 offensive rebounds on free throws. Like how do you allow that to happen, man? Like that was as big a choke as I've seen in a long time in the playoffs. Like there's no reason they should have lost game two. So when they lost that, I'm like, this is over. This series is over because beyond the fact that they choked, they played well in that game up until that point. Like Donovan
Yep.
Mitchell was lights out in that game. Like that was probably the best game they played in the series, and they lost it. Like it was over. It was over. And I mean, we'll get to it in a second, I guess. I don't quite know where Cleveland goes from here either. But I'll go to Stan. What was your thoughts on that series?
They just whooped their ass, and I was a little surprised by it, and it was just an ass whooping. They just Halliburton took their hearts in game two. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
he took their soul in game two with that shot, and yeah, they just ran up and down the court. That Pacers team is so high octane offensively. They just get at it up and down the floor. They spread the floor well. They always find the best shot. Halliburton has really stepped his game up in the postseason. He's kind of back at the level that he was last season before he got hurt and kind of slowed him down. But he's right back at that level. He is a phenomenal player, and that team is just deep. 1 through 5, 1 through 7, they can go. They're just deep, and they just overwhelm the Cavs. Like I said, the Cavs had some injuries, and Garland was hurt, Hunter was hurt, Mitchell was awesome, but again, you only can do so much, and that team was overwhelmed. And like I said, after that game too, it was over. Their hearts were stolen from that when that damn Halliburton shot. So I thought the series was going to go 7. I thought it was going to be a really good series, and it wasn't. Pacers whipped their ass. I don't know what
Yeah,
else you can say about
yeah.
it. They just beat them. They just whipped them. They whipped them. They ran them up and down the court. They just ran them off the floor. They weren't intimidated by the Cavs. They weren't intimidated by the Cavs home crowds. And again, I gotta give them credit because the Pacers are back in the conference finals after last season where they made that run and it fell to the Celtics where they just weren't ready. Whereas this year they're ready. They can get. I don't know where I'm going with the Pacers Knicks series. I'm sure we'll talk about it in a minute. Like
Mhm.
I have no idea where I'm going because it's both of these teams are really good. They've proven themselves. They've proven the haters wrong, and they're back in the spot they were a year ago.
Yeah,
And Carlisle's done a hell of a job with that team. You gotta give that credit
he
to Carlisle.
has.
He's done an amazing job with that team. That team was nowhere a couple years ago, and now here they are back in the conference finals again. And they're great. They're an awesome team, and they could win this next series easily. But Cleveland was a disappointment for me, just an absolute disappointment. They were one of the best teams in the league in the regular season. Was once again goes back to my point of why the regular season doesn't mean shit. And it's starting to get to that point where because you look at Cleveland, what did Cleveland win like 60 plus games, 63 games, whatever they won, and they got ran off the floor in the second round. Just ran off the floor. And again, I thought that
64.
Atkinson,
They won 60. They were
yeah,
64 and
they won
18.
64 games this year, and they got ran off the floor in the second round. Atkinson did a great job with them this year from what Bickerstaff was doing with them. I thought they had taken it to the next level, that taking that leap to the next level and potentially being a championship contender. They're not close. They're not mentally tough yet. They're not at that level of talent. And I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do as far as how they improve the team. And I'm sure a lot of teams are going to be sniffing around certain guys in the offseason, but I don't think Cleveland should do too much. It's still a good roster. They just gotta get mentally tougher. You gotta get tougher because again, they got stuffed out by the Pacers and Halliburton again. That stone cold three in the game two just took their hearts, and that was it. They just gotta get tougher. I think the team is good enough to compete, but they gotta get tougher. They got a good coach. It's a good roster. They're fine, but they gotta get tougher.
Yeah. They're not in as bad as a cap situation as the Celtics, who we already talked about. So they're not in that bad of a situation. But they do have Ty Jerome, who's going to be a free agent next year, and he didn't have
He
the
getting
best.
paid.
Yeah, he didn't
He
have the
gonna get
best
paid.
playoffs, but he's going to get paid.
He gonna get paid
Um,
off season.
yeah. So is he going to get paid by Cleveland? Do
No.
you?
No,
Yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah.
he's
He'll
So
get
not.
a nice big. Yeah, he'll get a nice big contract with some mid-level team like the Hawks or
yeah,
somebody like that. Some
He
mid-level
should
team
go
to
to
pay
the
him.
Magic.
Could be Orlando too. Yeah, he's again. He's the kind of guy that a team like Orlando that can't shoot. Throw the ball in the ocean could probably use a guy like that can come off the bench and score for him. But he's gonna get paid, but not by Cleveland.
huh. So guess
I
we'll
don't know. I don't know it, but I know what you're about to say. I'm sorry, Red. I know you're about
oh,
to
go ahead.
ask where the Cleveland go from here. I know you're about to ask that, right?
Yeah,
Is that what you was about to ask?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna say this, yo. Evan Mobley, you got to develop something. No, you got to develop. You can't just be this dude that's just attacking when you get the ball and catching alley oops. Like you got to develop something. And the crazy thing is that he be having these off-season videos. He was crossing niggas up, doing all of this, backspinning. Like, yo, don't show us no more videos if you ain't gonna do that shit in the real game. Like
Yeah,
I'm tired of, you know what I'm saying? Like he gotta develop a post game. The same shit that happened to the Celtics is the same shit that happened to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Celtics can only beat you from perimeter. Like the Celtics, like you know how important it is to have an Anthony Edwards, like a guy that's just going to attack and attack and attack
yeah,
and attack. Do you know how important it is to be able to give Big Cat the ball in the post 10 times a game? You see what I'm saying? When your whole offense is surrounded is based off of perimeter play, of Donovan Mitchell driving and kicking, Ty Jerome driving and kicking it. No, bro, take your big ass down bottom, bro. You 6'11", 7 foot, and you ain't got a hook shot. You ain't got a turnaround jumper. Like Jared Allen, you've been in the league too long to not have a hook shot, bro. Jared Allen has been in the league for too long to not. Remember back in the day, like guys like Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett was a running nigga like Evan Mobley his first couple years in the league. But he developed the post game. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Guys like Amari Stoudemire was just running and jumping, but he developed the post game. Chris Webber running and jumping, but he developed the post game. Like, bro, I know the league has changed, but if you are 6'10", 6'11", or higher, you need to develop a fucking post game because they couldn't. Because once that Ty Jerome wasn't working, once Donovan Mitchell wasn't working, driving and kicking, they had nothing. They
yeah.
had nothing. So Evan Mobley, either you got one more year, Evan Mobley. Either you gonna develop some shit, but if I come into the next season, the first 20, 30 games of the season, I'm gonna give you a chance to prove that you developed something that I could depend on. If not, I'm gonna trade you while you still have value. I'm gonna trade him, bro.
Yeah.
Like you don't want a 6'11", 7 foot Jared Allen. If you come back this offseason without a hook shot and a turnaround jumper, I'm trading you. It's a bunch of 7 foot dudes that can block shots, rebounds, and catch alley oops in the league. Why am I paying you this type of money? Why am I going to give Evan Mobley a long-term contract when he had 3 years to prove to me that he could develop a post game and he didn't? Like,
Well,
I'm not. I have
well,
no problem with their perimeter players. I have nothing to say about Ty Jerome, who's going to get paid. Darius Garland was hurt. I have nothing to say about Donovan Mitchell, who was explosive the whole series. Okay? Them bigs got to give him something. Miles Turner, he finds a way to get 15.
yeah, he does.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He finds a way without them posting up. So I just feel like them bigs should have gave them something, bro. Something to depend on. Other than them cut to the rack. Like Evan Mobley grabbing the ball, he beating niggas from the 3-point line and doing crossovers, getting to the rim. That's cool.
Well, Kurt,
Gotta
you
be
mentioned
able to.
Well,
You
Kurt, you
gotta
mentioned
be,
that you
as
would
a big man, you
you
gotta
would
be able
give.
to give him something down by.
So Kurt, you mentioned that you would give Evan Mobley one more year before you trade him, but I want you to keep in mind that after this season, Evan Mobley is owed $38 million, and then
Damn.
the year after that, $41 million, and then the year after that, $44 million. Then the year after that, it'd be $47 million. So, whoa, I think
He's he's
those numbers made Kurt's connection drop. I think. Yeah. All right, he's coming back. Yo, Kurt, did them numbers make your connection drop, man?
Say it again. Yeah.
Those
You
numbers.
start reading 41 million, 40 something million here. Like, bro, I'm not paying no big man that ain't got no hook shot.
Well,
Even if I only need you to hit a hook, look, I might only need you to do a hook shot or a post up 5 or 6 times a game. But you gotta have that because they could have used that in this series, yo. Just dump it down. They could have used that. When it get tough, the Knicks will post up OG Anunoby.
yeah. So let's move on. Let's talk about this series. So Kurt, Knicks Pacers, who you got?
You know I'm going with the Pacers. They've been my dark horse all year, bro. They have everything that they need. Like I said, when your leader does not care about his numbers, when the best player on your team is willing to sacrifice to let others shine, that is a badge like 2K. That's a badge like that you can't account for. That's a certain level of leadership that you pray that you hope that you have. Um, Miles Turner, I'm gonna be honest. I expect him to bitch Big Cat.
Mm,
I expect him to pump Big Cat this whole series.
mm,
Miles Turner. He could defend on all that perimeter stuff that Big Cat do. Miles Turner actually can defend all of that.
mm.
I expect Miles Turner to take him out of the series. Okay. I also expect Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton to cancel each other out. I think they both going to be phenomenal. I think they both going to have great series. So there is no advantage for the Knicks. There is no advantage for the Pacers there because they both going to come to play. The advantage is with the others, with the Naismith, with the Nimbars, with the Ben Matherins. Those are the X factors, and every game, one of those guys are going to have a big game. Every game, they're going to have a big game. You're not going to trust Jalen Brunson, right, to stick Tyrese Halliburton, right? Which means you're going to put Mikal Bridges or you're going to put OG on him. And the others are going to go crazy. The others are going to go crazy.
How many games,
So
Kurt?
6 games.
All right, say it with your chest. Pacers in 6.
Pacers in 6, nigga. What we talking about?
Stan,
They
what you
play
got?
defense, too
Okay.
many weapons.
um I'm thinking Pacers in 7, man. Just they had the Knicks number last year when they played in round 2, and they've taken out the top seed in the conference. They easily ran off the Bucks in round 1, and they're looking like a much better team from the team last year that got to the conference finals. The Knicks, I think, will have home court, but the Pacers have already won in MSG before. They won a game 7 last year in the Garden. They're not intimidated by the Knicks. I think it's going to be Pacers in 7. They look like the team that's ready to make that leap into the next level. Now, I'm not going to get into. I don't think they have a shot in hell of beating whoever comes out of the West. I'm just going to say that right now. But they can win this series. They have a complete team. They're coached very well. They're not intimidated by the Knicks home court or the Knicks physicality. They'll match the physicality. Like I said, Miles Turner can match Big Cat's physicality. And I don't know who's going to guard Halliburton on that team. I'm taking the Pacers in 7. It's going to be a hell of a series, though. I look forward to watching some of it. But it's going to be Pacers getting to the finals.
All right. You know, You remember the year the Ravens won the Super Bowl in 2000, and every game, Mike Dichter, remember he picked against the Ravens every single game all the way up to the Super Bowl. You remember that? Yeah, I think I'm going to be the Mike Dichter for the Pacers because I'm taking the Knicks in this series.
Okay.
Um, first of all, I do think that the home court advantage matters. I think it matters. I think that the idea of going to a game 7 in Madison Square Garden is a huge advantage for the Knicks. Also, I think that can we give some flowers to Jalen Brunson, not just for what he's doing on offense. He came to play in that Boston series on the defensive side of the ball.
You
I
did.
think I
Absolutely.
think everybody, including myself, was like they gonna pick on him all series long. And they did, and it wasn't as effective as I think we all thought it would be. Like he's been really battling on the defensive side of the ball. Also think that the Pacers have really just been their backcourt has just been lighting everybody up. They just moonwalked on the Bucks in that series, and they pretty much did the same thing to the Cavs. I think this one is going to be a little bit of a tougher matchup here because they do have the Knicks. It's interesting. The Knicks were a middle of the pack defensive team through the regular season, which is weird because you look at the roster and you say they seem like they should be better defensively. They've looked very good defensively in the playoffs, and I just think that again, I'm not saying they're going to lock that Pacers back. That Pacers backcourt is ridiculous. It's deep. They got so many guys that can score. So I'm not saying they're going to lock it down. It's going to be tougher though. I think Anunoby and the way Brunson has played defensively, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, they got guys that can get after these guys defensively to the where it's not just going to be just a shooting display like they showed against the Cavaliers. I think there's going to be a lot more resistance with this Knicks defense. I do agree with you about the Miles Turner thing. I think that's going to be the key matchup of this series. How Karl Anthony Towns goes head to head with her. I think that's going to be the key matchup of the series. But I think they'll somewhat cancel each other out. But I think Karl Anthony Towns is going to get the better of that matchup. I do. I think he will. I think this will be a excellent series. I do agree that I think it's going to go 7. But I think that with everything that I said and the fact that Game 7 will be in Madison Square Garden, I'm taking the Knicks. I'll be the Mike Dichter for the Pacers. If they go to the finals, I'll probably pick against them again. So I'd be Mike Dichter, but I'm going with the Knicks. I like the Knicks in this series. I think it's gonna be a good series, though.
The thing is, man, Tom Thibodeau flat out outcoached Joe Mazzulla last series. Adjustments and all that. It's not going to outcoach Rick Carlisle. It's not going to outcoach him. Number one, and number two, man. This is the one thing that hurt me about the Knicks. This is the one thing that I'm worried about with the Knicks. They go on those droughts, bro.
They do.
Like those 3 minutes without scoring. You're not going to be able to do that shit against the Pacers. And the Pacers, they're the type of team that, like the Knicks, they slowed the Celtics down. You can slow the Pacers down and be playing into their game plan. You see what I'm saying? Like they're a team that's built for the half court. They just so happen to like to run. So even if you slow it down, they still they so versatile and they don't get the credit for their versatility as an offense. They're probably the most versatile offense in the league. They're the only offense that can do 7 seconds. They can run pick and roll and all. So I'm going with the Pacers, man.
All right. I like it, man. I like it. Let's move to the West real quick. Got Game 7 tomorrow. Nuggets and the Wolves.
OKC.
OKC, excuse me. OKC. Stan, who you like?
I have no idea. Like I might have to lean towards the Nuggets in this game just because of experience. Yeah, I just lean towards the Nuggets, and Jokic has just been fucking unreal in this series. I mean, the thing I had, 40 and 22 the other day, and they lost the game. He's just carrying that team. I just lean towards the Nuggets because of the experience, and they've been there before. They've had these battles over the last few years, and Jokic is just an amazing player who just will not yield. You know what I mean? He will not roll over. Of course, I could be wrong. The Thunder could roll and run him off the court, but I don't see it. I just think it's going to be another tough game, and I think the Nuggets have that experience. Now, I did hear that Aaron Gordon might not play.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
hear
the
he was
hamstring.
diagnosed with hamstring. I saw that this morning when I woke up. He might not play, so I may have to change what I'm saying. It's just based off of that. But I kind of lean towards the Nuggets gonna the experience, but that Gordon injury is scaring the shit out of me about that. So I don't know. Should be a great game though, and they've had a great series, back and forth series. Nobody really having an advantage, and this is where the Thunder are going to be challenged. Game 7 in their arena, chance to go to the conference finals. Are they ready for this? They weren't ready last year when they lost to Dallas in round 2. Are they ready for it this year? We'll see. I don't know. But if I had to pick right now, based on Gordon's situation, I'm probably still going to lean towards the Nuggets because they've been there.
Hurt.
And Jokic is amazing. I can't see much else about Jokic.
The same thing I said about the Rockets, the same thing I said about the Pistons, is the same thing that I'm saying about OKC. They gotta get their ass bust, man. They gotta take their lumps, bro. They gotta take their losses, man. Next year, I think,
Mm.
is the year for OKC. They will be my favorites going into it next year, okay? But they gotta take this loss right now. They have to. Like it's a part of becoming a champion. It's taking losses. Um, and I think they're going to take this loss. This is going to be another one of those learning years. Listen, you can't just go from worst to the front of the line and not pay for it. It don't work like that. It just don't. It's teams that's been battle tested. You could win all those games in the regular season, but have you been battle tested? They are being battle tested now. They gotta take this loss. Russell Westbrook is battle tested. Jokic is bad. That whole Denver Nugget team is battle tested. It's not one player on that roster that haven't been through the war. Even Chris Brown went through the wars with him. You understand? They are battle tested. OKC still a year away. I'm sorry. I love Shea. Um, the MVP. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be real, I think he deserves it. I love Chet Holmgren. I love Hartstein. I love Dort. I love that whole team. Kason, Jay Daniels. I like that whole team. But they got to take their lumps, and they're going to take another lump in Game 7. I think Denver going to win, and guess what? I think Denver going to win by double figures.
Wow. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but unfortunately, I hate this for OKC. I gotta agree with you guys, and I hate it, man. Because I wanted them to. I really wanted OKC to go to the finals because I just loved. I know what you're saying about a young team got to take that loss, but I kind of wanted them to not. Like I wanted them to kind of break the mold. Like I really do. But I gotta be honest, though. I'm gonna take the Nuggets as well, and I think this it's gonna be another Joe Flacco game for Jamal Murray in Game 7, where that dude
Yeah,
just at the biggest moments
Joe
just
Flacco.
balls
at the
out.
biggest moments.
Just balls out. And he's done it in this series already. Like he was excellent the last game. And honestly, game 5, like the Thunder won that game. Jamal Murray was outstanding in that game. The Nuggets offense just really just fell apart in the last 5 minutes of that game. But Jamal Murray was excellent in that game too. So I think it's a Flacco game coming here tonight, game, and I hate it for them. I want the Thunder to go to the finals. I really do. I really want the Thunder to go, but I'm sorry. I got to take the Nuggets. I got to take them. Now Aaron Gordon being out does complicate things, so I don't think it's double digit game like you said, Kurt. But I'm going to Nuggets.
Yo, and that's how important experience is, because it's weird. Like OKC is literally better than them at everything,
They are.
but they not battle tested.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Real quick, let's speak about the Dallas Mavericks winning the lottery, man. You talk about a turn of events, man. I mean, one minute, they're the laughing stock and people want to have their general manager killed, and now, they get the number one pick. They're gonna be able to draft Cooper Flag or possibly trade the pick if they want to, which they shouldn't. They should just draft Cooper Flag. Um, wow. I mean, what was your thoughts when that lottery they opened that case and it it turns out that Dallas got the number one pick? Stan, what were you thinking when you saw that?
You lucky, 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 lucky. Of all the years that we've seen this lottery go to a team that it shouldn't have gone to, this might be the most surprising. And that's saying something since had the Magic won the lottery back to back years in the 90s. And got Shaq and Petty. Um, again, it's a lottery, y'all. Niggas can talk about that the lottery's not fixed. First of all, let's get that out the way. It's not fixed. The league has if the lottery was fixed, somebody would know. The league it just looks weird. I mean, you look at the way that this lottery went and the teams that Dallas winning the lottery was just like, oh, again, it's the ultimate reprieve from Nico Harrison. Because yeah, they wanted to hang this dude by his dick pretty much for that Dodgers trade, and he should have been. It's horrible. And now now you go from that, and now you get a chance to draft the next great white hope and Cooper Flag. You can't make this shit up, man. Like you can't make it up, and they should draft Cooper Flag. No question, they should not trade that pick. You should draft Cooper Flag, put him on that team, and see what happens. They still have a very formidable team. I mean, I don't know what Kyrie. I don't think the Kyrie situation obviously complicates things because of his injury, and when you're going to see him back again, the Achilles is weird, man. You know,
Here's the
these niggas need to
ACL.
go.
Here's the ACL.
Oh, it's ACL. It was ACL.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it'd be interesting to see when
He'll be
Kyrie
ready
gets
next
back.
year. He'll be
I think
ready
he will
next
be
year.
at some point. I think probably January you can probably see him. But it's a good team. If they're healthy. Again, you don't know. I mean, with Anthony Davis, you just never know, of course. But give them if Davis and Gafford and Lively and whatever's left of Klay Thompson, you know, and Kyrie, and then threw Cooper Flag into that with PJ Watt, that's a good team. That team could be right back in the thick of things next year if they can get healthy. So absolutely, that was a. I mean, I don't know if they got a horseshoe or a rabbit's foot or something up their ass, but that was Jesus. You go from being a lack of stock elite for trading generational talent for a 30-year-old center to now you got a chance to draft Cooper Flag. It's Jesus. Good for them, I guess. I mean, the man. Hopefully, this is going to soothe the Mavericks fans who have just been on fire for the last few months about this shit. I forget the rest of the draft. The rest of it, but Dallas winning the lottery was like, holy shit! I thought it was a joke. I didn't watch the lottery while I was working. I saw it come across like Dallas won the lottery. That's a joke. That must be somebody hacking shams again. There's no way that happened. But
They won.
hey, they won it, so good for them. And again, like I said, they should not trade that pick. They should go ahead and draft Cooper Flag. If he's everything that we think he is, talent. Well, he's a super talented guy, very versatile, athletic, and again, he's white, as Stephen A. Smith was saying. And she great white hope. I ain't trading that. Nah, she
Hear
draft
me out.
him, keep him, put him in there.
Hear me out for 1 second. For 1 second. It's either I'm going to draft Cooper Flag and trade Kyrie and AD, or I'm going to trade the first pick and build with Kyrie and AD. Listen, Dallas Mavericks, yo, they are at a crossroads. Are they going to be happy with two injury-prone superstars around their rookie? Or do you say, with this first pick, I could bring back something that can enhance Kyrie and AD and possibly win a championship? Like, to me, it would make no sense for them to draft Cooper Flag and then put him on a team not knowing if AD is going to play every night, not knowing if Kyrie is going to play every night. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take Kyrie Irving and I'm going to turn him into young talent and draft picks. Like for instance, if I'm the Dallas Mavericks, I would trade Kyrie Irving for Anthony Simons, like go to Portland, Anthony Simons, maybe Shadon, and some draft picks.
Yeah,
I will be calling them. I will be calling the Magic right now and saying, "Look, what's up with Jalen Suggs for Kyrie Irving?" Like,
no.
I will be making these calls to get no
They said
real
no.
talk. Y'all got draft capital. The Magic got draft capital, don't they?
Yeah, we got plenty of draft cap. I'm not trading Jalen Suggs with Kyrie Irving, and I think I'm not a Portland Trailblazers fan, but I think I'll speak for their fan base and say no, I would not trade away Simons for no damn Kyrie Irving. No,
But what I'm saying is, I'm just I'm
I hear what
just
you're
using
saying.
them
I hear what you're saying.
examples.
I hear what you're saying.
I'm turning Kyrie Irving into draft capital
Mm-hmm.
and draft picks. I'm
Mm-hmm.
turning Anthony Davis into young talent and draft capital because I am now moving forward with Cooper. If you bring Cooper in the middle of that, number one, his growth, even if they win a championship, his growth is going to be stunted because he's going to have to pay. He's going to have to. You're going to have to defer to Kyrie and Anthony Davis. So I'm either moving forward with Cooper Flag or I'm moving forward with AD and Kyrie. I'm not going to ask Cooper Flag to come and play with injury-prone superstars that can stunt his growth. But what I will do is go get some young talent. Now, if I feel like I want to give I want to give AD and Kyrie Irving a better chance to win. Okay, what gives them a better chance to win? A good, hardened veteran, right? Or two or three veterans that know the game. So guess what? I'm gonna turn this first round pick into I'm gonna try to get a 3-team trade. I'm gonna put up this first round pick and I'm gonna try to bring back a Derek White and a Jonathan Isaac type player to go with Kyrie and Anthony Davis. But I think it's a recipe for disaster to draft that young guy and ask him to play with Kyrie and Anthony Davis. So it's either I'm moving forward with Cooper Flag or I'm going to trade the first round pick to enhance what I already had. I just think that's a recipe for destruction, yo. For real.
I don't agree with that because I hear what you're saying, but like I actually think that having Cooper Flag there with those guys, first of all, he's going to be playing with some elite talent. So just being around that kind of talent is going to be beneficial to him. I understand what you're saying about not playing every night, but they're going to be nights when they do play. And I think that him being around that kind of talent will be great for him. The other part of it is, while I don't think that Dallas would be a championship contender, they're going to be without question a playoff team. And getting a guy in there that early to get playoff experience would be excellent for him in his career going forward. So I don't
Hear me out. Hear me out. You just made the finals a year ago, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, are you really happy with like the Rockets? They might be middle of the pack, but they have enough to grow to be championship. You understand? Like they have a core that can eventually win. OKC has a core that can eventually win. The Detroit Pistons has a core that can eventually win. Yo, the Mavericks don't have a core that can eventually win. So you're telling me you're happy with being middle of the pack when really I could be acquiring resources to build for the future to be that Houston Rocket team, to be that OKC team. And with Kyrie and with AD, you could bring back a massive amount of resources.
Could
So
you?
why would you be happy? Why would you be? You could bring back a young Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis is still worth a young talent and a first round draft pick. They still worth that. So you're gonna be happy with being. You're gonna be happy with being middle of the pack. Like you're really, if I'm the Dallas Mavericks, I would rather rebuild than be middle of the pack for the next 5 years. You ain't gonna get no draft picks in the middle of the pack. You ain't got no money to bring no free agents in because they got big salaries. What are you like? You're about to be in the middle of the pack for the next. Cooper Flag is about to spend the next 7 years of his career in the middle of the pack, bro. Because once AD gone, guess what? Once Kyrie and AD gone, what do you have?
Salary.
You don't have no other young talent that you could say, I like Max Christie. But
yeah, your cap flexibility at that point.
I don't think they should. I think they should. I mean, I think you should at least let us see what it looks like at first. Just let us see what it looks like. Put Flag in there with AD and with what they got there, and then see what happens. See what it looks like, and then at the end, and then at that point, if you see what it looks like, and you're like, this ain't working, then you can decide what you're gonna do. But no, they should keep that pick, draft Flag, and put him on that team and see what it looks like. Just see what it looks like in the first, half of the season, year, this first season. Just see what it looks like. And I think it's gonna look fine. I just think that Flag is that talented that he's gonna help that team and give them another weapon. Just see what it looks like first. I do understand what you're saying, Kurt, because it's like, do you want to put Flag on his team and have him be just a third wheel on his team, or do you want to make him the face of the franchise to replace Luka Doncic? Because again, Davis and Kyrie are both not going to be the face of your franchise going forward because they're both for 30. Kyrie's 33, 34. Davis is 30, 31. They're not going to be the face of your franchise going forward, but Flag is a young guy that you can make the face of your team for the next. You can tell Dallas fans, we're not going to. This is going to be the guy that Luka should have been.
Right.
In shape, prepared to play. All that stupid shit that they were trying to sell while they traded Luka Doncic. They can flip that and try to make it seem like this guy is going to be the Luka that we should. He's going to be Luka, but he's going to be better than Luka, and we're going to make him the face of our team for the next 15 years. And you're going to love this guy, And he's young, he's talented, he's athletic, he's white. You're going to love this guy. That's what they should do. But you still have Anthony Davis, you still have Kyrie Irving. When he comes back, I would see what it looks like first before I did anything drastic. But understand that Flag is the future of that team going forward. Like, he's going to be the face of the team in 5 years.
Of course. But what I'm saying is, if he's the face going forward, why, like me personally, if you feel like he's going to be the face going forward, why not give him the best chance going forward? And asking him to be the second, maybe third wheel on a mediocre team isn't the best thing for him, a middle of the pack team. Oh, we made it to the playoffs, but we got put out. You're not going to get no draft picks now. You know what I mean? You don't have money for free agency.
Hold on, Kurt. He would be making it to the playoffs though. Like, playoff experience is invaluable. You can't put a price on playoff experience. He'd be getting playoff experience way earlier than most rookies would get.
What I'm saying is, okay, look at Shea. Did he have early playoff experience? No.
Did he?
No, they didn't make the playoffs.
He was on the Clippers. He was on the Clippers that first year. They was on the playoffs. Yeah.
Oh, he was on the Clippers.
He was on that Clippers team.
Okay, that's a bad example. What about a guy like Cade Cunningham? Like, there are young guys that need to. This is J. Yeah, he in the playoffs now, but when they first drafted him,
no,
he wasn't in the playoffs.
I mean,
David Green, when they first drafted him, they wasn't a playoff team, but they had the young pieces. They had the young pieces to put around them, and now they're a formidable team. That in the next 2 or 3 years, the Rockets have a chance to win a championship with that roster. In the next 2 or 3 years, if the Pistons get better and continue in that team, that core continue to grow, they will have a chance to win it. When you look at the OKC, they have a chance to win it now. I'm trying to put one of those teams around Cooper Flag. Let him get his ass bust the first couple years. Oh, okay, we cool with that. But guess what? I'm going to draft the Chet Holmgren. I'm going to draft the Twin Thompson. You see what I'm saying? I'm going, rather than him going to the playoffs and him being stuck with these old niggas for the next 2 or 3 years and still not going nowhere. I'm trying to give him a Chet Holmgren. I'm trying to give him a Lou Dort. I'm trying to give him a Kaysen. I'm trying to give him listen, I'm trying to draft the Twin Thompson. I'm trying to draft the Shea Goon. I'm not trying to move forward with an old ass Kyrie Irving.
But you can still do that though. Like the Dallas Mavericks draft situation is fine. They have their pick next year. They have their pick in 2026. They own the Lakers pick in 2029. They're okay. They have some draft capital to use. And
What
you
I'm
just said
saying is, you're not
Lakers
going to
pick.
you're not going to draft Shea. You're not going to draft Shea Alexander in the late
why
rounds,
not?
bro.
Why not? What year did what number did Shea Alexander get drafted? I looked it
Shea
up. It
was
wasn't
pretty.
top 5.
No, but it wasn't top 20.
But you said
He
they're gonna
got
go.
drafted before top 20.
But
What
you
I'm
said
saying
that
is, in order to get those superstar players, you can luck up and get Kawhi Leonard. You can luck up and get Draymond Green. I'm not saying that's not possible. What I'm saying is, in order to get Chet Holmgren, you got to draft where Chet Holmgren was drafted. In order to get Twin Thompson, you got to draft where Twin Thompson was drafted. You're not going to get that type of talent with the 25th pick. And if you're the Dallas Mavericks and you're the fourth seed, the fifth seed in the West, and you got bumped out in the first round, you're not going to have a chance to draft these guys. I want to draft Chet Holmgren for Cooper Flag. I want to draft Twin Thompson for Cooper Flag. I want to draft these guys that I know can play around him, and I'm not going to get them with a middle of the pack playoff team's draft pick.
But you wait a minute. But you said first. Shea Alexander was the 11th pick, by the way, and you said they were going to
Lottery.
be okay. But it wasn't top 5. And you said he got traded. He's not even with the Clippers anymore. So you ended up trading him. So it's more than one way to skin a cat. You can get a star in other ways.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
and again, having that draft capital gives you the opportunity to trade. Having Kyrie and Anthony Davis, coming off of the books gives you cap flexibility along with those draft picks to bring in the star player you're talking about. But even beyond that, you said they're going to be a middle of the pack team, but then you said 4th seed in the West. If you're the 4th seed in this competitive West, I don't consider you a middle of the pack team. I consider you a contender. So which one is it? Are they middle of the pack, or are they going to be a contender with Cooper Flag on that team?
Well, if you're not allowed to retain, and you're not a legit contender, middle of the pack.
No, you said 4th seed. If you're a 4th seed in the West, you consider a 4th seed in the West middle of the pack and not a contender? You said 4th seed. I didn't say that. You said that.
I'm saying a 4th. Who was the 4th seed this year in the West?
I'll look it up.
Oh man, it was Denver, not Denver.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
Denver.
it was Denver.
It was the Clippers.
Denver.
It was the
Yeah,
Clippers.
the Clippers in Denver.
No,
Yeah,
Denver was 4. The Clippers were 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess maybe.
The West is
Yeah,
super
okay.
competitive.
Fourth seed is a bit much, but I don't think they're going to be a 4th seed if you add Cooper Flag to that team.
They said the West is super competitive, and you add Cooper to that team, they're a better team. They have to again. The biggest thing for Dallas, right now, is they have got to figure out a plan that. I don't think they had a plan outside of, well, we're just going to run Kyrie and AD back, and it's just like, dude, you have to give your fan base some belief that they can, because the fan base, there's no team in the league right now that the fan base hates more than Dallas, and they don't believe in them. And it's like, you guys fucking trade a generational talent, and now I'm supposed to believe in you guys now? Like, no. But Flag gives them a reset. They can reset now with Flag as the face of the team going forward. How they build around him is going to be the key. And again, if I'm a fan of the Mavs, do I trust Nico Harrison to do his job and build around this kid? Fuck no. You just traded away one of the 5 best players in the league, under 25. The fuck I'm like, come on now. This is their chance at redemption. And I don't trust them to not fuck it up again, because they've already done it. The ownership already allowed it to happen.
But think about this, Reg. Think about what you said. In 3 years.
One second, Kurt. We got a comment here. Jadden Justice says the Mavs got so lucky with Cooper Flag, a 1.8, and they got so lucky.
Chance. Yeah, they did.
I want to speak on that, but go ahead, Kurt. Finish your point.
What I'm saying is, like you said, in 3 years, they can have that draft capital. They can have that capital when Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving is off the books, right? What if they could get that capital now and still be able to draft Twin Thompson and still be able to draft Chet Holmgren? If they get rid of Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis next year, they will have the capital to bring back anybody they want, and they'll probably still get a decent draft pick. So you'll still have a chance to use those resources. You'll still have a chance to get that draft to possibly draft a lottery pick, because that's what I really meant, lottery pick. When I said to draft the Shea, to draft the Twin Thompson, because I think both twins went in the top 5. So, but what I'm saying is a lottery pick. You know what I mean?
Right.
When they can have that now and still draft those players. So you mean to tell me I could possibly be bringing in Mikey Williams? Mikey Williams on the high school college circuit. I could be bringing in that type of talent and still have the money to bring. How about this? I might be able to sign Luka Doncic next year. He might listen. If I get rid of Kyrie Irving right now and Luka Doncic, if I get rid of Kyrie Irving and AD and Luka Doncic sign out of his contract or opt out of his contract with the Lakers and become a free agent, I could bring that nigga back.
That would be a nightmare scenario for me. So I don't even want to. I don't even speak that into
it's possible. It's possible. If I get these old ass injured niggas off the books now, the possibilities is endless with Cooper Flag. I could possibly go get Giannis. I could go get Giannis.
But you could
definitely get time, man.
Yeah, I don't know about that. The idea that Luka Doncic, the Lakers don't lose their superstar, the superstar comes to them. That does not happen. So that's not going to happen. Bro.
I'm just saying, if he opts out and becomes a free agent, do they have
possible? Yes, it's theoretically it's possible.
It's theoretically possible. Okay, yeah. What I'm saying is, if that happens next year and they keep AD and Kyrie Irving, do they have the do they got the money to get Luka? No. But if they get rid of these old ass injured niggas now, their possibilities are endless. When you're talking draft capital and salary, when you're talking draft capital and big time salary cap, the possibilities are endless, is what I'm saying.
But okay, Stan, do you have to head out? I know you had to leave in a little bit, right?
A little bit, man. But I'll just say this. You making. I understand what you're saying. But first of all, if you're Dallas and you just traded Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis, what are you going to tell your fans that, yeah, we just traded Anthony Davis for a bunch of dudes? So you just turn Luka Doncic into what?
3 role players what if I turn Luka Doncic into 3 role players that can help Cooper Cup win a championship in 3 years?
That's a theater. That's a maybe. You can't sell that to your fans that you just trade Luka Doncic. So again, my feeling is you keep this team together, see what it looks like with these guys. Again, it's not like Kyrie wasn't playing at a high level before he got hurt. It wasn't like Davis wasn't putting up great numbers, when he was healthy.
Right.
We know what Anthony Davis can do when he's healthy. We know what he can do when he's healthy. We know what Kyrie can do still at this point of his career when he's healthy. Yes, injuries is a problem with both of those guys. We've seen it. And again, a guy in his mid-30s suffering that type of injury, it's not ideal. But I'm just saying, give it a chance, see what it looks like, and just sell some hope to your fans. That's what you need to worry about. Sell hope to your fans. And Cooper Flag is hope. We know what kind of hope, but he's hope. And you have to sell that to your fans. You have to give them something to believe in, because you just fucking traded Luka Doncic. And they are just like, fuck, I'm supposed to believe in y'all niggas, man. Y'all just traded the best player, the guy I thought was going to be on my team for 20 years. You traded him for Anthony Davis, who could be out of the league in 5 years. So they got to be more concerned about selling hope to the fans. And then after a year and see what this looks like, what do we do? Do we just cut bait on these guys and just make Flag the face of the team now? Or just let them play with these guys, these veteran guys who played in the finals, guys who won championships, and let him learn from those guys. I think you just had to give it a chance. I don't think you just. And again, it's not. Again, then when you start talking about trading guys again, like Kyrie and Anthony Davis, what is their trade value right now? I don't know. I
I
think
know it's
Dallas
better than what it will be a year
Well,
from now.
possibly.
let me speak to that for a second because I like to bring up the numbers when we start talking about trading guys. Now Kyrie Irving, I think you technically could move, but I think you question if you should move him. He has a $42 million player option next season, which he'll exercise, but that's it. That's the end after that. He's off the books after next year's 42 million. So technically, you could move Kyrie. I think you probably could move him. Now, Anthony Davis, on the other hand, next year he's owed 57 million, and the year after that, 62 million. And then now, I always make sure I preference this. This is a player option. Okay, he does not have to accept this option. This is a player option. This is his decision of $66 million in the 2027-2028 season. So again, his call now. So technically, you could say it could end after that 62, but the 66 is a player option. So you said Anthony Davis could be traded.
I got it. I know who you trade Anthony Davis for. Trae Young. Trae Young. He won out. They having problems. They having problems in Atlanta with Trae Young. You trade Anthony Davis for Trae Young.
Atlanta says no.
Atlanta says hell no.
I just got a text just now. Atlanta says no.
But what else they gonna get? What else they gonna get for Trae Young?
They're not going to trade him. That's what they're going to get for. They're going to keep him on the roster.
So he's not going to be. I truly believe that Trae Young has played his last game in Atlanta Hawks uniform.
I truly
believe that.
I do not believe that.
I truly believe that, bro. I truly believe that, Reggie. I truly believe he has.
All right, look, man. Great discussion about Dallas. I think that was a great discussion. I do understand your point for sure. I do understand your point. I want to speak to the stuff with Dallas because it was mentioned about the 1.8% chance, and there's been a lot of people talking about the lottery is fixed and all this other stuff, right? So I want to explain something to people, right? And this comes from an Orlando Magic fan.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very familiar with how the lottery works because I've been in it quite a lot. Okay, I'm very familiar with how the lottery works.
Bro, you've had 4 number 1 picks in your lifetime. Stop it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, it's been full. But I'm just saying I'm familiar with the lotteries. I've been in it a lot.
Yeah.
Niggas won the lottery 4 times in your lifetime. 4 times they won the lottery.
That's pretty crazy. But listen.
4 times, bro.
Listen, the lottery is not fixed. Could you make a case that there was a time in the past where maybe some shenanigans might have happened? I guess it's possible. But the lottery in its current form is not fixed. They do the drawing where they pull the ping pong balls. This happens. They post the video of the ping pong ball drawing. Okay, so what you see on screen is just them revealing it, but the actual lottery was already done. It's done in a room where all the teams have, I think it's 4 number combinations. So all the teams, based off their record, have certain number of combinations. So the worst team has the most number of combinations. They changed it recently, where like the top 14 have the same number of combinations. And they do the drawing. They draw the 4 picks. So they start from the top. They do the drawing.
And they work their way down.
And then you work their way down. They go to 4. And then after 4, it just goes by what's left.
Basically.
In that room, every single team has a team representative that watches the process. Every team in the lottery has someone there to watch it. Okay, the people who go into that room, they're sequestered. It's almost like a jury. They get sequestered away. They can't leave. They can't bring their phones in, so they don't spoil it. So every team has a representative there. The media is allowed in there. They have people from the media who are in there watching the process. So exactly how the hell are they going to rig it? It's not done behind closed doors. It is done behind closed doors, but it's done with a whole bunch of people in there who have their own interest. So you're telling me
Yeah,
that?
but
Yeah,
Reg, all them niggas still could be getting paid though.
bro.
Like,
What
let's say you play. Let's say you got. Let's say you supposed to get the second pick, right? Let's say you got the. Let's say you supposed to get the first round, but somebody tell you we'll give you the second pick and $15 million. You be like, all right, the Mavs can't have that motherfucker.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to say that when Cooper Flag is there. I'm like, no, fuck,
Well,
no,
that is true. That is true.
y'all draw
That
them
is
damn
true.
ping pong balls legitimately. No, I ain't taking no
Yeah,
15.
that is
I
true.
want you to
Cooper
draw them
Flag.
ping
Yeah.
pong balls. Yeah. So no, it's not fixed. Like in order to fix this, man, you need so many people involved in the process. And you know how it is with a conspiracy, man. The more people that know, the more
The
likely is
less
somebody
likely.
gonna snitch.
Right.
So it's a
You
lottery.
need- It's lottery, guys. That's how it works. That's how lotteries work. You know what I'm saying? Random niggas win the lottery all the time. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It happens. So it's
Odds
not.
odds
Yeah.
way worse than 1.8, and you can win a lottery.
Mhm.
Hell yeah. No, I
Yeah.
don't
So
think it
let's
was
just
fixed.
stop that fixed shit. It's
Yeah,
not fixed.
Jad Justice says Orlando got Shaq in 92, Chris Webber in 93, which were both first round picks back to back. Super rare and cool, but not fixed. Exactly. It's not fixed. It just was what it was. And I think back then the odds were a little bit differently too. Like I think back then they didn't have the crazy number of combinations. I think back then it was a little bit more even. And again, the NBA made some changes to the lottery. So they want chaos. I've heard people say that the lottery doesn't work now because the worst teams like no, that's the point.
That's the point of the lottery.
That's
Want
the
it to be
point. That's the
chaos.
point. The
You
point is
know,
they
that's
want
the
chaos. The point is they
Hey, yo,
don't
y'all
want
remember that?
teams.
Y'all remember some time back, Portland was this close to making the playoffs and they got the number one pick and they drafted Greg Oden. You
yeah,
remember that? They was this close. They was like
yeah,
a half a game away from the
yeah,
playoff.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I honestly think to prevent, because I
They
don't
got
like that
Greg
tanking
Oden.
shit. I
Right.
think I really think the team that's this close to being a winning team should get the number one pick.
See,
That's
I
what I
don't think
think.
that. I don't think that
That's what I think, bro.
because you
That
do
would
have
stop
to.
people from tanking, bro.
Yeah, but you do still want the worst teams to have a chance to get better. I just don't want, you know what I mean? Because like I think honestly, I think that this is one instance where I think the NFL need to take notes. They need to come up with a lottery because man, this upcoming year, man, with this damn Manning that's coming out, man, it's gonna be some interesting situations at the end of the NFL season this year. I'm telling you, yeah,
It's gonna be some. It's
you
gonna be
gonna
some.
see some
Yeah.
interesting situations. It's gonna be a whole lot of starting quarterbacks that jam their thumb on a helmet that's gonna miss the last 4 weeks of the season. It's gonna be a whole lot of that stuff happening, man. So
Mhm.
I think a lottery is a good idea, and I think that it having chaos is a good thing. I think we need multiple years of chaos like this before teams say, "All right, maybe the tanking thing is done." But like right now, I think people you kind of set in your ways. You kind of think like, "Let's just be bad next year." You're setting your ways, but I
Right.
think that
Right.
the more years that go by where you start seeing chaos, I mean, this is a devastating night for the Washington Wizards, man. I mean, the Wizards lost all them damn games and they picking six. I mean,
Mhm.
can you imagine, going 18-64 and picking six?
Mhm.
You know,
You just wasted. You just wasted a whole season. Basically,
yeah,
you just lost. You were shit for a whole
Yo, but
season
bro,
for no
hold up.
reason.
Them niggas been drafted. Hold up, bro. Hold up, bro. Them niggas been drafted in the lottery like the last 5 years. If they not good enough by now, bro, then let's be real, bro.
yeah,
It's been 5 years since Russell Westbrook was there.
yeah. I mean,
And they
all
still, like, yo, if you keep drafting, it gotta be a penalty for this shit, bro. You can't just keep drafting lottery year after year after year after year
See,
after
now
year and not getting
that
better,
I agree with.
bro.
well,
That I
seriously.
agree with. That I agree with, and I've been saying that for the longest time. We have to do something with these. They have to stop incentivizing these teams to get better. Stop rewarding these teams the shit that suck for all these
Right?
years with lottery picks.
But what
Them
else
niggas
can you
drafted
do?
Asa, they drafted Koulibaly, they drafted Carrington, they drafted Cody Kispert. Like the list goes on, bro. Tired of seeing that shit on. You know what I mean? Like we got an NBA basketball team right around the corner. Don't nobody give a fuck to go watch them, bro. Tired of that shit, bro.
Yeah, but you still have to help the bottom of the league though, Kurt. Though you can't just say if you draft in the lottery so many times. Like, nah, like you got to give them another chance. They got to keep trying, bro. Like you can't do that. Like,
What I'm
I mean,
saying is,
Yeah,
like, okay, like if you had a top 5 pick the last 3 years and you ain't do nothing, you can't have a top 5 pick this year. Period.
sure you
You could
could.
get a top 10 pick. You get a top 10 pick. But we gave your ass, you had the second pick, then you had the third pick, then you had the fifth pick, then you had the first pick, and you still sorry as shit. Bro, we're not giving you a top 5 pick this
No,
year.
but all drafts
Oh
aren't
man, this shit sucks.
all drafts aren't created equal though. You can have the first pick in a shit draft. You know what I mean? So that's not, you know what I
right.
mean? That's not right. So no, like
Yeah,
it just you got to keep giving them a chance, bro. Like that's just how it is. Sooner or later they're gonna strike gold. I mean, is it annoying when every single year you look at the lottery and you always see the same logos up there? You see the Charlotte Hornets logo up there every single damn year, and the Wizards logo and the Jazz. Is it annoying? It is a little annoying, but you got to give them a chance, bro. You can't penalize them. You know, you got to keep giving them opportunities. I love
No,
how the
but they be tanking though. That's what I'm saying. They're
yeah.
intentionally losing. I could see like if they was fighting fucking hard and for 82 games they fought hard as fuck and all they won was 10 games. That's cool. But these niggas is tanking niggas. Like sitting their best players. Your best player sorry as shit and you still sitting them. Like why they like no,
but
bro. No.
but Kurt, I think that like what they're doing as far as the changes in the lottery, it's not going to happen overnight. But you need more lotteries to be chaos like this, and it's an
yeah,
overtime. It's like over time you might start seeing tanking kind of mellow out over time. It's not going to happen immediately because I think GMs are still stuck in their ways. They're like, okay, the way I rebuild is tank. I know how to rebuild is tank. But if you get 5 more years of not necessarily of a team like Dallas jumping, but if you just get 5 more years of the fifth team gets the number 1 pick, the 6th worst gets the number 1 pick, and then maybe 1 year the worst team does get it, but then here comes the 13th guy gets the number 1 pick. If you get enough years of that, over time, tanking will become a thing of the past. So I think that's the point of how they're
I get
built.
what you're saying. Yeah.
I like you, but
That's cool.
you can't let teams that
I'm
suck.
just tired of seeing, like you say, seeing the same old faces,
You see
bro.
the same logos every year.
Y'all
same
not gonna
shitty
get better
teams.
at all. And then they be having like I can see like, okay, you won 21 games last year and you was a lottery pick. But this year you won 31 games and you still a lottery pick, but you improved by 10 games. Man, these niggas be winning 30 games, get a lottery pick, the next year win 15. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, yo, come on, bro. Come on,
Look,
bro. Like the
we all
Spurs,
want
bro. Look at the Spurs,
we all
bro.
want, you know.
Yeah.
Look at the Spurs. All of them first round picks, bro. All them first. Cal Johnson, fucking Devin Vassell, Wemby. All of them first round picks, bro. Y'all, bro, they got to do something about that. But then you look at the OKCs, you look at the
Yeah.
Houston Rockets, you look at the Detroit Pistons, and you're like, okay, that's how it's supposed to go. Teams like that.
It's all about drafting, man. Who you got drafted again? That's where GMs come into play, man. You take the opportunities you got and you draft well. Washington has not drafted well for the last, I don't know, 30 fucking years. So it's not like,
Yeah.
it's about drafting. Who you draft, how you use those picks. The Kings are one of those teams drafted like shit for over a decade. That's why they were in the fucking lottery every year. It's about your
Hey, yo,
GM and how you draft. Simple. It's the same way with
think about
football.
this, yo. Since we've been alive, since we've been alive, since we've been alive, the Wizards / Bullets has only drafted 3 All-Stars. John Wall, Bradley Beal, and Dewan Howard. Everybody else was a trade. They've only drafted 3 All-Stars in our whole lifetime. The Wizards has only drafted 3 All-Stars, bro. John Wall, Bradley Beal, and Juwan Howard. That's it. Chris Webber was a trade.
Trade, yeah. Gilbert Arenas is a trade too, right? Because Gilbert Arenas started
Yeah.
with Golden State.
Yeah, Antoine Jameson trade.
Trade,
We've
yeah.
drafted 3 All-Stars in 40 years.
That's crazy.
And they just keep giving these niggas lottery picks, bro. We drafted Richard Hamilton. He ain't become an all-star until he got to Detroit.
Yeah.
Look, we all want the Wizards to get better at some point. Again, they are technically the local team here.
Ain't my team.
Well, no, they ain't my team either. Fuck them. I
That's
don't
my
give a
Eastern
fuck about
Conference team, yo. They my Eastern Conference team,
But
yo. I'm a Lakers
I
fan,
do,
but you know what I mean?
yeah. But I do hope, I do wish for them to be good. I do like when they're good. I do root for them when they're good. I root for them to be good. And that's franchise. It seems like they're still years away from being relevant again.
Yeah,
Years away.
Hey, look, what it comes down to, man, is like it's not just the draft is a tool, but it's not the only thing. Like, and getting the number one pick is great, but it's not the only thing. I mean, we talked about the Magic, getting the number one pick, and obviously when you get the number one pick, it changes things. But they got Dwight Howard with the number one pick, but people forget also in that exact same draft they traded into the end of the first round to get Jameer Nelson. I think they got him like 23 or 25, something like that, right? Orlando just now, they got Paolo Banchero with the first pick, but then the following year they got Franz Wagner with 8th or 9th pick, something like that. So it's not.
But the Magic made it to the finals. We don't know about Paolo, but the Magic made it to the finals with last one of their first round picks.
For
their
sure,
number one picks went to the finals.
Sure, but it was more than just a number one pick, is what I'm saying. Obviously,
Shaq
Shaq is Shaq, but I mean, they also were able to add, like, it's not just getting the number one pick; it's other things you have to do.
Absolutely, you have to build around those facts.
Right.
Dennis Scott,
and some of these teams utilize that pick and they build around their superstar. That's what you do. That's how you get it done. And some teams just keep drafting guys, they're just guys. And Washington has just drafted guys over the last decade and a half. Just drafting guys.
Motherfucking Rod Grizzard. The fuck? Lonnie Baxter. Like, we drafted Lonnie Baxter. Like, dumbass shit. We drafted Steve Blake. Like, we knew Steve Blake was going to be a role player, bro.
He was a solid player in the league, though, man. Steve Blake was solid.
Yeah, we spent a lottery pick on Steve Blake.
He was a lottery pick?
Yeah, he was a lottery pick.
Like I said, man, you got to utilize the draft properly. And if you don't, you're just going to be there every year. And that's all it is. And again, with Dallas, it's right there in front of them to rebuild the team. It's right there in front of them to get their fan base excited about them. Draft Cooper Flag and make him the face of your team. When you get the first pick, you can't fuck it up. Huh?
Steve Blake was second round. Second round.
Blake was second round?
He was second round.
Oh, okay. Juan Dixon. I'm sorry. I knew it was one of them.
Juan Dixon, yeah.
Juan Dixon was lottery. Okay, I knew it was one of the Terps we drafted with the lottery.
Yeah, Washington's drafted like shit over the last 20 years. I think we all know that. I mean, we all want them to be competitive, but they're still years away from that.
And we the worst drafted franchise in history. If you just look at the Washington Wizards draft picks, bro, that shit is bad.
But what's the Wizards lottery luck though? Like, where are they usually picking though? Like,
bro, what are you talking about? John Wall was lottery, was number one pick. We had two number one picks, bro.
I forgot about that. Yeah, who was the other one?
Kwame
Brown.
Oh, that's right. But
Kwame Brown.
That's bad luck though, because I mean, everybody that got the number one pick would have took Kwame Brown in that draft. Like, every single person. It wasn't even a good draft neither.
Hey, yo, son, just do me a favor. Look at the Wizards draft and then look at the niggas that went after them niggas. You start saying crazy names, bro. You start saying super names, bro. I'm just saying, they just bad, bro. They bad.
I think Paul Gasol was the pick after Kwame Brown, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying, bro? It's like that for all of the drafts, bro. John Wall, they did their thing. Bradley Beal, they did their thing. Jawan Howard, they did their thing. Everybody else is like regular niggas. 5, 6 years in the league and disappear.
All right. See, it was actually Tyson Chandler with second, and then Paul Gasol in that draft. But it's not a very good draft though. It was Kwame Brown, Tyson Chandler, Paul Gasol, and then Eddie Curry, Jason Richardson was good, Shane Battier, Eddie Griffin, DeAndre Diop, Rodney White, Joe Johnson was there. So not a great draft, really. That's your top 10 right there.
Bro, you
What year
named
is that,
3 All-Star
2000?
niggas though. You named 3 All-Star
2001.
niggas though. Joe
Yeah.
Johnson, Paul Gasol, and Jason Richardson. And Shane Battier was good for a long time.
Yeah. Richard
Keep in
Jefferson.
mind
Wow.
that's following the 2000 draft, which is arguably the worst draft in the history of the league. So any draft following that 2000 draft is
Didn't
going to
Sean
look like
Livingston go? Ain't Sean Livingston 2000? No, he might not
that.
be. No, Sean
I don't
Livingston went
remember.
high as fuck.
I
Sean
blacked
Livingston
out
was like number
I
2.
blacked out that 2000 draft. I blacked out of my memory, so I couldn't
Yeah,
tell you.
2000 is a bad draft too. Kenyon Martin was the number 1 pick. And then Romile Swift, Darius Miles, Marcus Pfizer, Mike Miller.
If I'm not mistaken, the Wizards drafted Marcus Pfizer, didn't they?
That was the Bulls. The Bulls.
Oh, okay. Who did the Wizards draft that year?
I don't see the Wizards.
Oh, we might have had Gilbert. We might have been nice.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe they didn't
No,
have a pick.
2000 is Jordan.
Maybe they traded the pick. Maybe
They probably traded the pick.
Yeah.
Jordan was there, but Jordan was there, I think, running the team in
Yeah,
2000,
Jordan was
2001.
Yeah.
That's when he drafted Kwame Brown over Paul Gasol. So,
I mean, look, man. Everybody would have did that, though. Everybody would have did it. All right, fellas, let's get out of here, man. This is a good conversation, man. This was really dope, man. This was awesome.
No
man.
doubt, no doubt,
Good
no doubt, man.
conversation,
A lot of
man.
fun.
So,
A lot of fun.
till next time.
All right, fellas.
All right, fellas.
Later.
Take it easy.